I was in Moab, which is a place I like quite a bit. There, and it still has it's still a small town. I mean, it just feels small, and it's in a nice way. But there are a lot of people, trying to change that. Mm-hmm. There's for instance, there's a they're planning. There's a plan afoot to build a new city right by the Colorado River.
A different city
called Echo Canyon. Yeah, and I mean it would be right on the Colorado. It was called Cane Springs. Now it's been rebranded Echo Canyon. It includes plans for 430 housing units, a 102-room hotel, and commercial space. And they want it to be its own city, not part of Moab. It'll be part of, and it's kind of down the Cane Creek Road. It goes down along the Colorado. And it's... I
mean, if they're building... Moab needs affordable housing. If they're building...
That's not what it is.
Oh.
No, it will be... Well, there are a lot of people opposed to it in Moab, and hopefully it won't... I don't know who has the final decision. Probably, what is it, Grand County? I think that's the county it's in. That's going to be who has the final say on all of it, but... There are big signs. So, for instance, we went out to breakfast yesterday morning before we left Moab at a place called Cactus Jack's, and there's a big reader sign out in front of Cactus Jack's that says, "Tell your senator that our public lands aren't for sale."
Well, that was Big Beautiful Bill stuff.
Yeah, they're really. I think most businesses down there, most business owners are pretty opposed to. Giving up federal lands to private development.
That thing that we warned them about before the election.
Yeah, but I was sitting. Yeah. I was at eating breakfast at Cactus Jack's, and I guess the waitress, a waitress came over the table. I was in the restroom, but came over where my wife and kid were, and said, "The owner here, the manager here, he wants to know, is that your husband?" My wife said, "Yeah." I said, "Is he that guy on the radio in Salt Lake? And is that Bill Allred?" Here, she said, my kid was going to buy a sticker, a Cactus Jack sticker. Yeah, you can have one. Just have it. It's on the house. So there are perks, being my kid, being my child. You get a free sticker.
A sticker?
Yeah, a free sticker from.
You have to put up with you being dad, but you get a sticker.
That's true. But had it really...
You better report this to accounting.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's a really nice sticker, too. But anyway, had a nice time down there. There's Cactus Jack's was good.
Were you Airbnb-ing or did you? Okay.
Yeah, Airbnb. And that, so we did, I went down there because my wife goes down there once a year, and they have a roller derby tournament there. Mm-hmm. And it's out at the fairgrounds. And Grand County really does a nice job with setting things up for the roller derby people and just really being accommodating. And there was a county fair going on there, and there was all kinds of, stuff for kids to do. And there was a country music concert going on, and there was some sort of rodeoing and horse showing and all of that kind of stuff, and roller derby. So it all kind of fits together. And Grand County does a really nice job. And then the next day, the tradition is that all the roller derby people, the skaters and their husbands and the officials and I, we go up the canyon, up past the Red Rocks Ranch where we stayed that time. Mm-hmm. We go up there and with rafts and paddle boards, and we float down the river for about probably 2 hours, something like that, 2.5, 3 hours, and there's like 30 of us. Floating down that stretch of the Colorado is just real slow and real placid, and it's just kind of a nice time out in the sun, and you drink some beer and stop on a little sandbar and have some lunch and float down the river. Yeah, it's very pleasant, very pleasant. And I got to, because I'm really terrible on the water.
What do you mean you're terrible on the water?
I'm not good at I'm not good at knowing how to do water sports or ride a paddle board or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
But fortunately, my good friend Hayes has a raft. And he says, "Don't worry, Bill, I'll get you down the river."
I get you there.
Yeah. So all I have to do is sit in the raft and talk and talk.
Remain seated? Did you remain
I just
seated?
remain seated, and Hayes does all the work.
That's the way to do it.
You know, he mans the oars and hands me a beer if I want one, and
You don't even get your own beer?
I don't have to. I'll get you down the river, Bill.
If he's doing the oars, you should be getting him the beer.
Hayes, no. He says, Bill, I'm here to take care of you. I said, well, thanks, Hayes. I really appreciate it. And he was the guy who was making the pizzas at my birthday party.
Oh, okay.
That guy. So anyway,
So not only does he get you down the river, he makes you pizzas and hands you beer. Hayes is handy to have around.
Listen, Hayes made pizza that night. We all went back to the Airbnb, and he brought a pizza oven down from Salt Lake in his truck.
Wow.
This pizza oven. He knows what he's doing, and he made whole bunches of pizzas for everybody, and they were delicious. Went to another place in Moab that was great. I hadn't seen it there before. It's called the Dough Bird, and in the morning they make donuts.
Okay.
And they are delicious. I mean, just great donuts and kind of interesting. You know, like there was a pear.
A fritter?
concoction.
Was it a fritter?
No, it wasn't a fritter. It was a donut that had a candied pear slice on it, and it was just really good. And raspberry and all this stuff. But then they make the donuts and they sell them out usually by noon or so.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're gone, then they start making the chicken. So that's why it's called the Dough Bird.
Bird.
They do donuts, and then when the
Dough.
donuts are gone,
Is it dough like
they
Homer
make chicken.
Simpson dough?
No,
They spell
no, it's DOUG.
And is it like fried chicken, rotisserie
It's
chicken?
fried
or
chicken. I
fried
believe.
chicken.
Now I didn't have any of the chicken, but the donuts were delicious, and I would suspect that the chicken was also delicious.
Is there a magical moment, like at noon, where both are available and they cut a donut in half and make you a sandwich?
I'm not sure.
A magical moment.
It
The magic
wouldn't
hours.
surprise me. Somebody said as soon
Suddenly
as
a light shines down.
It's a crossover.
when the donuts are gone, we start with it. So no, I think there's no crossover because they say when the donuts are gone, then we start making the chicken.
Lost opportunity. It should be, if we have a dozen donuts left, then there's that magic moment. You know,
You can have
we're,
both.
we're 12 people. Only 12 people. That's Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
That's,
And you say I was one of the 12 today.
I was one of the 12 today that got the chicken donut sandwich.
It's going to be a good day.
And then we always have to stop at the Moab rock shop because it's probably
Because you love rock and roll, that's why.
It's probably
pick up some vinyl,
no,
right?
It's because my kid loves rocks, all kinds of
It's
rocks.
a shiny rock place.
And it's all kinds of rocks, beautiful shiny rocks, and just piles of rocks. I look at that. What?
Did you buy any rocks?
I didn't buy any rocks, but my child did.
You know, if they get a rock polisher, they can make their own.
Yeah.
They do some of that.
Okay.
You mean my child?
Yes. It's a thought.
We kind of got into that briefly, but it's too. I don't know. It's just. It takes you put the rocks in there, and then it just takes too long.
It's noisy.
Yeah, it's noisy, and it takes too
There
long.
was a guy up the street from where I grew up who did it. Mm-hmm. He did all sizes, made a wall out of polished rocks.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah. But it's the old rock hounders down there are interesting folks. They're what you would expect them to be, grizzled and kind of. Let me show you this one. No, here's a nice rock for you.
They're holding the pickaxe.
Yeah, literally. What's that rock? I'd say. Oh, that's a big one. That's a Moses geode. A Moses geode. Yeah, when you crack that sucker, here I'll show you what it looks like when it's cracked
I
open.
got some real nice ones here in my overalls.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh no, wait, they're in my beard. I know what Gina's picturing here.
I know. I got rocks in my. Oh no! Wait a minute. I haven't changed my underwear in a while.
She's picturing Stinky Pete from Toy Story.
Yes.
Exactly what she said.
Exactly what I'm thinking.
Well, and there was a guy there who looked almost like that.